Hello and welcome to this special episode of Telemark, your ski jumping podcast. My name is Luis Holuch. I'm a sports journalist, commentator and producer of this small series as well. And what I'm going to say right now is just meant as a small intro for what's coming up right here. So, what's the situation? The situation is that Maren Lundby has shared an article of a Norwegian newspaper, Verdens Gang, in which Norway's sports director Clas Brede Bråthen was telling some insights about the FIS meetings which took place this past weekend. He was very disappointed about the way these went, and especially about the attitude of other officials towards women's ski jumping and especially ski flying for women. And just by reading this article, I immediately thought back on the talk I had with him during the season, which was in Oberstdorf. And it turned out that this one is even more relevant than it was at the time we had this talk. The topics are still very important, very relevant. And back then I only published a translated version of this in German on skispringen.com. But since I got so many requests ever since, I now decided to release it in full length, in English language, via this channel. So I kindly invite you to please have a listen and also share it if you liked it. So here is my talk with Clas Brede Bråthen in Oberstdorf. I read almost every report this week coming from Norway that your federation has been very clear about the fact that we are here right now jumping on the large hill, but not next year. Can you once again point out how did you feel to do this? Why, or what was your motivation to proclaim that?
Well, the case is that this case was a case showing up in Norwegian media when Maren was winning last week in Rational. Mm-hmm. Then of course they always check where is the next steps, and then it was the pre-championships here in Oberstdorf.
Yeah.
And then they were looking for the World Championship program, mm-hmm. And then they actually saw that
okay.
They are not here in the big hill in the championships.
Mm-hmm.
So then they started asking us questions, and of course they asked Maren, and she's honestly telling what she's feeling, and we are just honestly trying to tell that the development of female ski jumping has been fantastic. They are on a very high level, mm-hmm. And it's a huge add-on for our sport. You know, when the female part of our sport became appearing on TV quite often, then suddenly ski jumping was bigger than alpine in the TV numbers. Mm-hmm. And there is no sportic argument to not have them in the big hill. You can stand here and you can absolutely document that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And from my point of view, I only have to answer and work for the development of our sport, and the biggest chance of development in ski jumping is still the development of ladies ski jumping. Yeah. Still there are a lot of other steps also, but the biggest development step is the female ski jumping.
Yeah.
And I'm so impressed about the development the ladies have done, and I'm of course when we have one of the best athletes, it's a very nice competitions for me to take part of.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
It's die Ampel sofort auf grün gestellt, sobald die Weite da ist. And you know probably that equalization is a huge focus in most parts of the modern world.
Absolutely,
and I would say Norway is not behind in that.
Nah,
discussion.
not at all.
They
not
are
at all.
probably
Way up in front there.
trying to be at least up front there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
today I have experienced support from the highest level in the Norwegian government in this case,
Yeah.
and of course that's it's giving at least motivation and security that we are okay. It's somehow it's just sport, but also sport is important when it comes to bigger things.
Absolutely.
And equalization is bigger thing
Yeah.
for sure.
But don't you wish sometimes that not only your federation is speaking up so loudly about it? Did you wish for more support in this case? Or is it too high of an expectation for that?
97 meters.
I only do what I feel is right from my background. And I'm not trying to judge anybody else for whatever they do,
Yeah.
because they have another background. There is
Sure.
another culture, and I'm not, let's say, criticizing
Yeah.
any other people thing. I will only try to discuss and try to understand why others have another point of view.
Yeah.
Because in that way we can at least try to take another step.
Sure. Yeah.
This is where my position is. I cannot live with myself if I don't kind of rise this subject when it's raised. I need to state where I am, where my federation is, where my nation is.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's and I understand that we are a small country, and it's different in a big country like many others we are in this family with. So of course I love Norway. I love our basic values, which equality is really one of them.
Yeah.
And I just want to stand up for that, and I really hope in the end that we can show everybody a full stadium here next year that this is actually good for everybody.
Sure.
There cannot be any losers here if the ladies are able to jump the big hill in the World Championship. It will only be winners, and then everybody can just cheer and hopefully nobody is saying that look at you were wrong. Just say that okay, we managed, we took this sport another step, and wouldn't it be great for Oberstdorf to be that one place where they actually took that step?
Just like Seefeld last year implementing a team competition. Yeah.
Like Liebrecht taking the first World Championships.
Yeah.
Like in Lillehammer, we are still proud of hosting the first ever World Cup for ladies.
Sure.
So this is
milestone in history.
Yeah. That's I think the organizer, the population, and everybody here, they will be so proud when they do it, because I still believe that there is a chance that they can do it.
Yeah.
That's my...
But to understand it for people from outside, what exactly needs to happen that this competition is included in the program? What kind of a process is that?
That's a good question.
104,5
Okay.
Like I understood in Seefeld, because that team event came in a bit from nowhere.
Out of Norway, yeah.
And I understood at that time it was a initiative from the Austrian Ski Federation.
Okay.
Or the Austrian organizer to the FIS on certain level. I don't know which.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what I understood happened in Seefeld. What it takes to get it in here, probably it can be done the same way, but I don't really know. If I knew that, I wouldn't have time to talk to you, because then I would have been
sure.
trying to talk with other people.
Yeah.
107 meters.
It's kind of what I was thinking, but just try to ensure it. Not that I was publishing something which is not kind of verified. You know, it's always a bit difficult.
For me, this is just. I feel it's so unfair that the ladies have to spend time and energy fighting for the right to compete.
Yeah,
Why should they be kind of cursed with another focus than just compete? My home star Maren Lundby, she says, I really don't like this focus. I would only like to do ski jumping. That's why I started ski jumping.
Sure, yeah,
so
just for the sport, yeah.
Just let me do that. But if you tell me that I have to do it like this, well, then I have to do it like this. Because if I have to take the fight, I will. But I really hate it. I can see the energy in her eyes is slowly going away.
Yes.
When she feels that I still have to fight. I still have to fight.
It's tiring, sure.
And I feel our sport has nobody to lose because of that.
Of course not, man. Not at all.
Not because of that.
Not at all, no. Yeah, and I mean, if you just look at the World Cup calendar, for instance, it's half of it is large hill competitions. Then why isn't it included in the biggest events the sport has? So it's totally oxymoron.
I think in the future we will see fantastic things in ski jumping related to ladies' performance. Probably something that you don't see in any other sport. When a female jumper has the world's longest standing ski jump, which is a chance that will happen, then they are jumping in the same hill, almost with the same speed, and they are jumping further.
Yeah.
This is
the highest thing you can achieve.
Representing Norway, Anna Odine Strøm.
I don't remember when, but I think some while ago I read that you were also talking about hosting the first ski flying event for women. What's the status quo on that?
When that barrier has fallen, then we don't have to talk about this anymore.
True, yeah.
So, but as of now, it's a much more important case to solve. And that is to give the ladies the chance to compete on the same level as the men when it comes to medals. When we do this in the World Championship, well, then we have to do it in the Olympics. Because I don't think the Olympic Committee would like to look stupid.
Nah, certainly not. Especially if the whole world is watching.
Exactly.
And then there's this other thing that the prize money is so much smaller than for men. Is this also something you would like to work on?
Well, I'm not only working on it. If you see the raw air, the ladies have the same prize money as men.
Yeah. That's one competition, that's a good example,
That's a competition that I can do a difference in, because then I'm having power in my own country. I cannot tell the Germans to spend this money. I can discuss it in FIS committees, but always then you have to vote, and probably different organizers, they see this as a huge economical.
Then you risk losing organizers because they say it's too much.
And that's worse.
First
we have to get a full World Cup calendar, and then those nations who have the willingness and the money, like we have done in Norway, they can add on more money. Nobody is denying you to put more money in the
Let's say it's a least amount of money you have to spend to.
Exactly.
Then we can just hope that probably this fight, even if it's tiring, will have a good result in the end.
Let's see. No, we just have to enjoy the fantastic performance from the ladies, and then.
Well, I'm a bit afraid that I have to ask Maren also about it, because I think it's most impact if athletes speak about it. But of course I understand that she doesn't really want to.
No, but she knows she has to. She's a professional athlete. She has passion for her sport and her own career.
106,5 meter, 106.5 meters.
You know, she was nominated the
Role model of the
role
year.
model of the year
Yeah.
in Norwegian sport.
Yeah.
So, and that's not for nothing.
Of course. Yeah.
So, because we have some quite good role models in Norway.
List is long. Yeah.
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 There are some parts in this interview which now sound different than in the moment we were speaking, but I think the main message of that is clear. And so after this interview, I shortly wanted to mention that this piece is actually the last one I will also publish in style of a podcast. As you probably noticed, there just have been 10 episodes of it, and this was basically due to my hectic daily routine. And during the winter and also the late summer, I just did not find the time to do more, actually. And now that we are all in a difficult and unused situation, I'm also forced to cut off some things, especially when it comes to costs. And this is why I will stop using and doing the podcast distribution. But I'm not saying that I might not release stuff like this or something like I did before sometime in the future. But for now, the podcast feed and everything that belongs to it will be interrupted or stopped, you could also say. It's an obligation I have to make these days, even though it's certainly not easy because I really like speaking, obviously, but that's how it is. And with that being said, I want to thank you very much for listening, for tuning in, and stay safe, everybody, stay healthy, and just keep your fingers crossed that this difficult time will be over somehow soon, and stay tuned for new stuff. Until next time, bye bye.